Okay, that's good. That's better. So I think there must be something else going on right now.
Let's see. There are a couple good ones going
Yeah,
on right now.
yeah. I have to have words. That's all right. We'll make it fun.
Video,
Yeah,
distance learning.
On top of that, if we can wrap up pretty quick, you guys can probably catch the tail of another one. So I feel like it's too much, but I think we're starting, right? So thank you for coming in. Hello. Hello. Thanks for coming over. I appreciate it. Okay, your odds on the lounge chair really high, really high. So I see a couple familiar faces, and then to help me out? You're with us, right? And you're with us, and I don't think I know you.
No, I'm John.
Where are you from?
Hastings College of Law.
Oh, Hastings.
Yeah.
Lovely. Have we never met?
Probably not, no.
So I'm a Hastings alum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I founded Exam4, or co-founded Exam4, and then co-founded this, and endorsed a little bit.
Well, nice
So,
to meet you.
is Eric's not here today?
No, he's not. Just me.
Okay, well good. I'm glad. I've been trying to arrange a visit up there. It's not like I just lived down the coast, but good. I'm really glad. Thank you. Okay, well let's go. So I'm just gonna whip through my presentation, hit some of the highlights, and then we can chat and just see where it goes. I don't need to. I clearly don't think I need to be, too verbose today. I want to talk about simplicity, and so one of the touchstones of our product is that we have kept a very strong focus on keeping things simple. So just taking off the bullet points, and we can dig into them a little bit. But on the admin setup, you may be used to a system where you have some fairly heavy-duty database integration that has to happen. You've got records you have to prep, you have to get them in on time, get things all lined up. We just skip all that, and I can show it to you in the software. But basically, it's I've not ever heard a really compelling reason why that absolutely has to be done that way. And in fact, for the schools that use us, and again, it's about a third of the law schools, they just don't even have to. They just don't do it. To get ready for the semester, all we get is a course list. They upload that to our website. It's embedded in the software. Students are typing in their exam ID when they start up the software, and that is all that's needed for the entire system to work very, 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 very smoothly. And it has for hundreds and hundreds of thousands of exams, millions of exams. So one thing you can look for if you give our software a try, much reduced admin workload. Another example of keeping things simple, we've got a software that runs with no installer. So from a technical perspective, obviously you have to install the software, but it's for both the Windows version and the Macintosh version, it is simply an extract and run. So there's no reboot, there's no rewriting libraries, there's no updating, there's nothing. You download the software and you start it, and it runs, and that's it. Okay, it makes a big difference for the users, but also on the support side. An install like that, you completely wipe away all your install issues. Now, for competitive products, I've heard much higher rates of people not being able to get it running. Our rates are very, very low, approaching zero. That's true for law schools and for bar exams. Of course, in bar exams, we're their tech support. They don't even have anybody to talk to, and the exams get rolling with everybody running out of thousands. No reboot. Well, I'm not certain as exactly what that mechanism is doing, but certainly it's possible to have the right level of security without forcing the computer to go through a lot of gymnastics, and that was something that I wanted from day one, and we got it. And we've been able to maintain that this whole time very successfully. When you start your exam, the software just starts. There's no waiting for a reboot. There's no rewrite of registries. It's very, very straightforward. And of course, you can imagine a much reduced tech support load as a result of that. So those are a couple of examples on the simplicity side. I'm certainly happy to talk about anything else, but that kind of gets the highlights. Any questions at that point? Sure.
There is no reboot to start, but at the end, is there any?
Neither.
Just where it goes back to
they exit the software, they end the exam, they submit the file, they exit the software, and they're done. No reboot either side.
And resume operations. No.
No, if you're rewriting registries, you know.
No, I understand, but there is
Yeah.
no, they just, for example, they're running Windows, the desktop just comes.
When you download it,
Thank you.
when you download it, it opens up so fast. I mean,
I'm not talking about downloading, I'm talking about taking it.
Well, I can do it. I can show you, but when you're done with the exam, you exit out. Just an exit. You click submit electronically. It immediately goes into the collection server. By the way, that server is located at your site, not ours. And then when that's submitted, you just exit out of the software, and you're back into Windows or Mac. You're done. That's it. There is no other step. The software runs, and then you exit it, just like any other application. What else?
Do students get like a confirmation or anything like that?
Yeah, when the file is received on the server, the software that's in that server figures out that the file is good, that it has the file, and it sends back a receipt, an encrypted receipt file to the student. Also, there's a pop-up that says, we have your file, here's the file name, here's the size, here's how many sections it had, does it seem right to you? And by the way, here's a checkbox. I understand that this has been received, and I understand that I have a receipt file that is encrypted that's on my hard drive. So the circles are always closed up. Like
It's
that.
really running the software off the server, or is it running?
No. The software, it's a client on the student's laptop, right? But it's submitting the file to a server application that's running on one of your servers, right? So when the file is submitted up, that application on the server is opening it up, figuring out if it's good, figuring out that it got it, figuring out that it's good, and then sending the file back to the student. And that's both put onto their hard drive, and also it pops up in the window saying we've got the file. Okay, so it's very, both ways and sort of tied up in a knot. Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a server, it can be a workstation.
Yeah, that's true
Maybe
too.
a low-level workstation.
Or a virtual machine, anything. We need a static IP. Yeah, we're betting static IP in the client. So they don't have to know or do anything. They just click submit. It's there really fast. I'll show you examples. Okay. Anything else? Shall we move on? Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is support, and the key thing for support, obviously, is that it needs to turn around quick, and it needs to be good. It's kind of a no-brainer. So the way that we approach support from the beginning has been, for students, it's web form and email. And the idea is, don't build up an unrealistic expectation of having people answering a phone call. If you got phone support, you think somebody's going to answer it and you're going to call at the last minute, and you think with email it's going to be slow, so you better plan ahead. That suits us. But the fact is, our email is almost instantaneous. People will write us back and say, I cannot believe, how many did you get? I cannot believe how fast you answered me. We can answer it immediately. Part of the reason is with email, it's very easy to just take a snip, see what the question is, take a snip and drop it in there. We use a third-party tracking application that helps us automate this, and we've got people available. And of course, the other thing is, we just don't get that many queries. The number of queries we get for the number of users that we have, it's it's shockingly low. And I can stand here and say that, but fortunately, I do have a couple of customers here to nod their heads and say, yeah, it's pretty much like that. So, Grace is nodding, Paul's nodding.
Every testing period, I give training sessions, mostly in fall. A little bit in the spring, not too much, but mostly in the fall. Have them come in, I have IT staff come in. I'm in front, the IT staff are there. We got lots of Macs on campus now. We got Vista, Windows 7, XP, so many versions. And so if someone's having a problem, I can continue and an IT person will go over and find out, and what I'm telling them to do is exit out of a lot of these things, So I'm teaching them how to get it simple, how to get the laptop simple for that session. We download it, it downloads very quickly, and it opens up automatically. So it's just easy. And everyone always has a success rate. I'll ask at the end, did everybody submit successfully? And everybody, says yes, they did. No, volunteer, and they all come and they come repeat because they just want to make sure that everything is right and it's going to work fine for them when they take their test.
And I'm sure some institutions do it just like yours, but I don't. I provide a list of instructions, and I provide a list of instructions, and I send it out to them. And I've been doing this now for 3 years. No problems, no issues.
What school?
During exams, I have an IT help desk that we set up, and we just, tell everybody if you have a problem, leave the room, take the laptop with you, go to the help desk, and we'll help you out.
Yeah, it's our policy not to, they don't get any extra time.
No
for
extra
technology
time.
problems.
Because they have a chance to come in.
Yeah. It's something that they need to take care of. It's housekeeping. I mean, they could have this problem when they're in there taking notes and all of a sudden their computer crashes because they have too much stuff on it or they have a virus.
But I also find it helpful to include that in the documentation.
Yeah.
I mean, let them know about the firewalls.
Oh, yeah.
Let them know about the, antivirus and spyware and all this other kind of stuff they might have running. If you do that on a piece of paper and you send it out to them repeatedly, before the registration opens, they get familiar with it. And they're able to, take it in. And when you open registration, that 2-week period or whatever, however long you want to keep it open, in that 2-week period time frame, you don't have many issues regarding the installation. And if you do, take them one by one.
Speaking of that, at our school, I help him with bar exam stuff, but we use self-test. You can set up practice tests in yours and track all that, right?
To make sure, to see if people have taken a practice exam?
Yeah.
Well, we can do that, but what we found is that, we do it for bar exams where we want to have sort of a higher level of just preparation. But honestly, we actually, secret, don't enforce it. So all we want is to encourage people to do it and make them think that they really need to, but really as long as a substantial number do it, we find that it knocks back the number of issues that are happening on exam day. And I don't want to tell you that you don't have to require it in your law school, but you really, you don't.
We don't require it, but we put them on the priority list. So if they kind of follow all the steps and they took the practice exam, and it's someone else who comes out who didn't do anything, we're going to take the person who followed all the steps and help them.
Well, see, now we do that in kind of a stealth way because when you download the software for the first time per version, it will pop up a little window that says, please take a practice exam. And then if they do, that will disappear. And that's a good nag and it works, but the other value of that, of course, is if they're having a problem and they call you over, you start the software and the nag screen appears, they never took a practice exam. So it's a little bit sneaky, but it's super effective. And the thing that we do, we spend a lot of our time doing, is trying to figure out, what is. There are things that can be done, but do you always have to do things in the most can you find a way to do it in a lighter way, or in a sort of a, can you change something very small? Can you maybe take something away and actually make things work better? So the idea is that the software is constantly being sort of combed and managed. And rather than constantly adding, we're trying to just take it down and keep it simple. And I should point out that one of the reasons we're able to do that is we really are just focusing on law schools and bar exams. So we're not trying to be expansive so much and find other places to put this. It would be nice, but really, we're not under any kind of pressure to grow, exponentially. We really just want to focus on this job, do it right, and the market's rewarded us by a steady forward progress in terms of the number of customers we have. We've not slid back, and we don't. And there's only so many customers, it's a zero sum, right? There's X number of law schools. We have some, and others have some. And if we're growing, there's only one place those are coming from. So then it's been steady that way. Yes?
Do you know which states have adopted you for the bar?
For the bar, we are in 8 states right now. Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Louisiana, Wisconsin, Maine,
Arizona.
Nebraska, and one other state out west, I can't remember the name of it. Oh, yes.
I had
Arizona. Oh yeah, look at him. He's from Arizona. Okay, yes.
I know
with Exam4, because we're an Exam4 user in Central, what services does Exam4 stop? As far, okay, like for instance, with the whole secure shell that comes up whenever the person reboots and whatnot.
Right.
What prevents this end user from accessing other stuff, other programs and whatnot?
Right. Well, so that's okay. So this is being recorded, and I don't know who's going to see it. So I kind of need to. That's kind of a full answer to that is proprietary, but a useful answer to that is that the paradigm is the same. I mean, we're directly competitive with Exam4. Schools leave Exam4 and come to us and need the same things to be happening in terms of security, in terms of usability. Well, hopefully more usability. The basic paradigm of exam software, that I wrote 12 years ago in 1997 in the assembly room at Hastings, while I was administering exams without any software, which was a Highwire Act, is it's a word processor that is blocking access to other things on the hard drive. It's backing you up and saving. It's encrypting and it's controlling access back into the file. Those are really the key things. And then facilitating the back end administrative stuff. There are different ways to solve that. There's pluses and minuses, and I having experienced one approach, I thought from the outset maybe we ought to try and find a way to do this where things happen more smoothly all the way through. And so the challenge to my programmers is we got to get this level of security, but we have to do it with a little less. With a softer touch, and the fact that we've been able to do that, it's a combination. I mean, it's a cocktail. I mean, it's not any one particular very big device that solves it. The what's it called? Secure something? Shell or whatever it is.
Whatever.
That's one. A big heavy axe is one way to there's one kind of tool, and then there's a collection of smaller tools like this solves this problem, and this takes care of this issue, and this resolves this part of things. And so by being, I think we could say we're more organic about it. We're sort of touching each security issue, one by one, or solving several by some methods, and some are very specific. But we try to keep fairly nimble with that. And something comes up, we adjust. We don't have to adjust the whole system. We only have to adjust one little piece. Microsoft or Apple makes an adjustment to the operating system, and we don't have to rewrite. We just have to take one thing or update something or tone something else down. So that kind of and of course the software is much lighter too. I mean, our whole executable for Windows is I think it's like 400K, and the Mac I think is like 200 or 300K. We have there's libraries and stuff that make there's like a spell check library, things like that make it a little larger for the download. The actual operation of the software is modest enough that we have a fighting chance of being able to understand it well enough that when we make changes, we can do them with some certainty. That when things change, there's big question marks, right? New software, new versions. It can be hard to know exactly where the fallout's going to be because of the numbers of users involved and the stakes of what's being done. So even a small number of users impacted on a high stakes thing, I mean, it's a big deal. So having there be different approaches to this, I think is good for the market overall. Depending on what your sensitivities are and what issues you've run across, what things you think you need to have happening for you in a certain way at your school, that's going to help you decide which is going to be a good fit for you, really. So,
How do you stay ahead of the changes? I mean,
well,
I can answer that question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this used to bug me, but then I became to understand why. We really did started doing some midterms for our first years a couple of years ago. Before that, it was just at the end of the semester. Sometimes we would just want a version that was going to last us the whole semester. And Greg went, but things change. We got to keep up to date. We have to make sure that we're keeping up with all the other technology, and that's why we have to do it this way. And I've accepted it, and I understand why. So if we do a midterm, we have a version. We may have a different version for finals because they have made that small change.
based on Windows updates.
Could be.
Anything happening in the environment. The thing is, being aware that the environment does shift, right? One of the decisions made early on was, we can make this easy. If I go back to the install point, right? The idea of that was, if we make the pain of installation as minimal as possible, that will give us more flexibility if we do need to update, or if we want to update. It's not going to be a burden for the students. So it's one thing, downloading is one amount of burden. It's not that big a deal. Running a real installer, shutting all your applications down, if you're going to do it right, shutting your applications down, doing a reboot, that's more work. But if you're just downloading a new copy, it's hardly even installing. You're just downloading, right? And once you've got a newer copy, then that's updated. And so being able to do that install easily and quickly, having that be a target is an enabler for being able to stay on top of things more smoothly. And it's a big plus. And it may seem like a little bit of a change for the way we do things now, but again, it really is just a download. Just go download a new copy, go download a new copy. We do midterms and finals. A lot of schools we do one version through the semester. I like to have them do the midterms, and once they get the hang of it, they get kind of a rhythm with it. It's not even and then you have this extra assurance that there's a chance to keep things responsive. So there's a little bit of a trade-off, but by making the install painless, it enables that, and it's plus.
And you don't have to uninstall the old version. I mean, you just download it and it overwrites the version that was there, and you have the new version.
That's good.
Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is having what do students have to go through for some basic things. And really one of the biggest issues that's come up in the last few years has been the Windows and Macintosh thing. And these guys were featured on a postcard I sent out last year, and it was a little bit cheeky, but I think it was there was a lot of truth to it. It said, do you want your law students to be training for a career in computer repair? And the idea was that a lot of people went from Windows to Mac because they wanted to get something that was going to be easier to deal with, and then all of a sudden, for the thing that really is the most important thing they do, which is take an exam, they found themselves in a situation where they not only had to deal with boot camp, they had to go out and buy and install Windows. And the irony there was pretty obvious. And on the strength of that, we've had a very good couple of years. The fact is, nobody really wants to be a test pilot, even though it's exciting. They don't want to do that all the time, and so having software that's been used and proven and tested over many hundreds of thousands of exams has a certain value. And so we committed to building a Mac native application that came out in 2006, and it's been in standard rotation. And what's happened, of course, as everybody knows, in the last 3 to 4 years, the Mac usage has gone from 5% in a lot of schools to 50%. And that, it's one thing to put something out when 5% of your users are impacted, and it's another to put something out when half or more of your users are impacted, something that has been flown about as much as the gyrodyne. So it's a big issue, and we're ready for it. And it's really as simple as that. So, in conclusion, everybody knows about the stakes of law school exams, bar exams by extension. They're closely related. You need something that's secure, you need something that's reliable, you need a track record, and you need a reputation. And we talked about those first couple of things. Reputation, many of you have seen us mentioned on Teknoids or the registrar's discussion list. That those words speak for themselves. I have no input on that, and you can't fake what people say about you. And I couldn't be more gratified with the kind of the things that people do say. So, I don't push too hard on sales. We kind of hang back a little bit. But our reputation definitely precedes us. If you've got an issue with this or that or the other thing, there's a good chance we're not having that issue, and we can take care of that plus all your other stuff, and we'll be very happy to have you. If it doesn't seem like the right fit, I'm fine with that too, and that's why there's a marketplace. You find what works for you. But I think for for law schools. There is a lot of similarity among them. They do have similar requirements. We will definitely be pleased to have you on board if you'd like to join us, and we will definitely take care of you and stay focused and keep it simple. So that's us. This is me, and I hope you give me an email.
Do you have a sample of what it looks like?
Yeah, we can go through software if you want. Yeah, it's funny. You know what's funny is the number of presentations I've done flown across the country. Sat down with a dozen people for 3 hours and gone through the software, and we never actually even look at the software. I never even take my hands out of my pockets. We just talk.
That's
right?
because people are afraid of exams.
I don't know.
It brings back horrible memories.
No. Come on. No, what it is that you're buying software, right? But really, you want to inspect me and see if I know what I'm talking about, and test me from a bunch of different angles, and make sure I'm representing my company and a team of people who are very dedicated and very smart, and I have to bring that to you, and you have to decide whether I'm saying thank you, saying something that makes sense, and people are good at that, and there's no way that a video presentation or web meeting or whatever else, that to me that's not about making a relationship. That's about selling something. So we're looking to work with you on this for years to come, because this is going to be a tool that you use for the main thing that law schools produce for many, many years, and it's got to be right, and you got to be able to get along with us. So, ready?
No, I mean I've worked with Greg on two different occasions, and this gentleman as well. And I've also worked for Exam4 department. We have not had any problems. It's been very smooth both times. And, the problem we did have were the printers that we had, not the product itself. But they take pride in what they're doing and provide a good product. And so I mean, if you're thinking of switching, I would definitely give them a go. I mean, I wouldn't tell you if I didn't think it was a good product. Every time you call them or send them an email, they get back to you right away. They give you that assistance right away. They have a good team. I mean, we always present a good team of people with our bars in.
I appreciate that. Give that man a globe. Let's take a look at the software if you want. Okay, I'm here, Scott. Am I connected?
Actually, I've been testing on my laptop, so.
Oh. Okay, so I should go online?
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Set you up for this.
Is there a computer on this thing? I don't think we have access to it, do we? Oh, don't read my mail. Oh my God.
Were you talking about it? Must have been.
Oh, my secrets. No. I wasn't ready for that.
Should have had something funny up there.
I did. I had my something. Oh, who knows what I got on my desktop either. Embarrassing. Okay. Oh dear. Okay. I wonder what size this is, Scott.
Oh, it's so simple.
Are you law? Yes. right, so let's do this. Name for so, yay! What are those pop-ups?
Close your email.
I should close my email.
Oh,
Thank
no,
you.
it's so
Oh,
hot.
not open my email, but close my email. Yes,
Don't
away.
close your email.
Okay, better. Scott, what school's open for downloads right now?
Everyone's.
No, only that one. No, I'll use that one either. Oh, good. Okay, that one needs that one. Okay, so exam4.com. Let's go to law school. No, somebody time me. Wait, let's go back.
Okay.
All right, let's go back. All right, are you ready? Don't blink. Is everybody watching?
Yeah.
Okay. Extegrity.com, or exam4.com, sorry. Law schools. Louisiana starts with an L.
Pressure.
It is a lot of pressure. Okay, so oh gosh, I gotta fill in this form.
Or Louisiana.
New Orleans? Loyola New Orleans? Yeah? There's a Loyola in New Orleans.
Never mind.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm other. 1.
Hey, that's me.
Oh, no, it's not.
I don't mess up my ratings. I mean, if you're going to take an exam.
I'm not going to take an exam. Did I type on my email? I can't see. It's all fuzzed out my screen to do this. All right, I must have had a comment in there. Okay, correct, yes. And I'm going to go down here and get software, the box, click it down. Okay, it's all instructions. That's actually a little bit more complex because Loyola's doing a special thing that most schools don't do. So there was an extra step in there. But even then, so, okay, I'm going to hit run.
Which downloads it.
Is it starting to download yet?
Yes, I was done.
Okay, so when it starts downloading.
And now it's
Oh, wait a
installing.
minute. And put on. What was that? Okay, this guy's ready to take an exam.
Like
Ready to
2
go.
minutes.
Okay?
So those are all of the classes that have exams under that one.
Oh, we didn't get there yet. I'm still basking in the glory of that unbelievably fast. We're ready to go. Does this student have technical support issues? No, because the software's already running. It's good. Okay, that's it. And then let me point out for the administrative side, getting to this point really basically involves uploading a course list to our website, and that's about it. So I love to tell this story. I wish I could name drop. I'm not a good name dropper, and you might like that. But a fairly large school in a fairly large northeastern state called me in sort of desperation in November a couple of years ago, and was having problems with their other software or something with their network or whatever, and just couldn't take it anymore and just wanted to switch, was ready to go. And it was, I don't know, a couple of days before exams started, and he said, do you think you could possibly help me? I know it's a sort of crazy request. And it was a Friday, and they think they needed it for Tuesday. And I said, we'll have it running in 45 minutes, maybe less. So send me, let's get a course list, find a machine we can use for collection, give us a static IP address. We installed the server, we tested it, we got the course list, we edited it, we went over the settings, we got those all taken care of, and we were done in 20 minutes, and we were good to go. And he rolled it out with an email to his students. Okay, we're using this software instead of that software, go get it. And that was the whole implementation. And we were done in an hour. Talk, set up, good to go. The school is 1,100 students. Okay, boom. And that I can do. So, to answer your question, David. David, right?
Yeah, that's it.
These are the previous exams this student has taken on this machine. And if you wanted to pick one of these and resubmit it, if you try to begin it and it's already been ended, they won't be able to get back in. But if they, say, crashed and they need to get back into an exam, they would go through that. All right, so let's go with this. So this is what obviates that whole database integration backend festivities. Okay, good. So we simply get them to type their, what's today? Type their exam ID into this. And the great innovation, it's extremely, high-tech innovation, was to get them to type it twice. Okay? You've seen that on other websites. We've patented that. They pay us a nickel or a dime or whatever for every website you go to where you have to edit something. Me, Alex, line our pockets. Yeah. Really exotic, right? And that little trick obviates the entire, their server, your server, upload, download, preload, blah, blah, blah. It's not necessary. We just get them to put in a good exam ID. Okay, so we had a couple of schools where one or two people would transpose a number and they were like, can you help us out a little bit more? So we added another field. And this field is what we call protected. So if the school is nervous about that or worried that somebody's going to transpose an ID and they're not going to be able to tell who they are, the student can be made to type something else in there, like their name, which is a really useful way of identifying people, because it's what people tend to do, what the name is. And so that information is only available to the exam administrator, registrar, tech, whoever's doing it, not on the printouts. You can't see it anywhere in the file. So if you ask your students to also please just provide a secondary means of identification, 1 in 1,000 or 100, whatever, however many are going to make a mess, you are going to be able to tell who they are, right? And this simple expedient, I already said, obviates all that other pre-planning, extra workload for you. You don't need to know any exam IDs, and neither do you. Just people take the exam. That whole process is just wiped away. And then, so that worked so well, we thought, well, how do we get them to choose their course from this list, First Amendment, and make sure they've chosen the right one? And look at this. They pick it twice from the list. It slows them down. They think about what they're doing. They have to do the same mistake twice. They're not going to do it. Still, it happens. Very, very rarely. They're confused. They're not sure what they're doing. But really, I mean, we do hundreds and hundreds of thousands of exams. I don't know, many, many hundreds of thousands of exams a year. How many calls or emails or problems do we hear about? How many times do you send us somebody who couldn't figure this out? Come on. Never. Right? And it's extremely simple, right? And all that stuff about associating the courses with the exam ID and only the courses you're taking because students are too. I mean, look, these people are picking apart, statute books this deep, right? Yes, there are a few law students who can manage to figure out basic instruction, and we run across a few of those, but come on, they're pretty small numbers, right? And so a simple solution that works is a good solution, and I like it, and it's a lot less work for everybody. So you can see that list. This is Loyola's summer course list. So it's only a few courses, but we have schools with, how many courses do you think are on CALI's list? It's huge. And people just scroll down and find it. It's alphabetical.
They actually have multiple sites.
They've got 4 locations. Hey, there's a microphone here. I didn't even notice. I just heard it just then. Okay. Any questions on that? Good. Okay, there's a timer, it's a convenience timer. They can use it or not. It pops up an alert. It's disabled for Loyola. Okay. They type in courier. They can choose standard or large. You print it out at times. Courier is great because a W is the same width as an I, right? So there's a fixed number of pixels to the typing space, and that means that a line to length limited exam is actually doable, right? The instructor wants 5 lines per answer. Everybody's going to type the same amount of stuff. In other exam software, where they can change the typeface or change the width of the window or whatever else they want to do, that blows that. But this is an extra layer of usability, and people like it, and it works. And also, we do hear from students that say, at first it was weird to type in courier because I don't use it anymore. But after a couple of times, what it kind of did was remind me that I was taking an exam, and this was a special moment, and it helped me refocus, right? Because I never used that typeface anywhere else. And it seems like a small thing, but I was really happy to hear that because it was really one of the things I was hoping that would happen. And we do actually, we do get emails like that. Not that often, but every once in a while. And so it's a very subtle, small touch thing, but a little sort of thoughtfulness that went in, and I'm glad a few people noticed it. Large. Actually, I'm going to stand.
Because you have that nice new tool inside now. The Zoom.
Oh, there's a Zoom. Yeah, there's stuff. Yep. You can blow it up a little if you need to. But we periodically, as the screens get wider and wider. We will add a little bit larger size, but it's not, maybe done in a while. It's not really been, I don't think anybody's been asking for it. Here, there's a screen where they can sign off on an honor code. There's some help for some of the security steps that we do. I don't want to go into too much detail on it, but this is part of our security regime. And then a reminder of crash recovery procedures. Basically, get somebody to walk you through it so that somebody's looking over your shoulder when it's happening. And then Loyola only does closed exams. We have a couple other options. There's an open laptop exam that blocks the network. And then there's also an open laptop exam that allows the network, and then there's also a take-home mode. And the difference, obviously, is with the open mode, they can look at other things on the machine, or they can get to the network if that's allowed. But it still is encrypting the answer, it's still doing the saving and everything, and they still can only exit it the one time. The take-home exams are not encrypted, and they can open it and close it as often as they need to, but otherwise the typing space and everything is the same. Okay. And you can't say you didn't pick the mode that you're. If you think you're going to self-help yourself to an open laptop exam by typing the word open, you have to explain to somebody why you typed the word open. Well, I can't do it here because it's not an in for it, but why you self-selected something by typing the wrong word. It's not going to fly too well with the academic dean who you'd be talking to. So you actually have to spell it right before this checkbox will undrag. You can't move forward. And if you do deliberately try to help yourself to something you weren't entitled to, it'll be printed on every page. So, we'll catch you. And it's happened. They didn't know. They didn't know, oh, by the way, it says it right here. Exam mode is noted on exam printouts. They just ignored it. They thought they'd get away with it, typed open, and then got marched down to the office for talking to. Check your entries, click again. On my machine, which is stuffed to the gills with many years of accumulated detritus, it's going to take a little while. So, any questions at this point? Normally that takes 15, 20 seconds on Windows, faster on a Mac.
How often does it save?
It's saving every 10 seconds, and it's backing up every 2 minutes. We keep a string of backup files so you can reconstruct their progress. And these are encrypted exam. Oh, just that was fast. These are encrypted exam files, just like the main exam file. But if they say, look, I was typing this big long thing and the computer ate it, you can say, fine, give me the backup files. You go through it and look for one where it dropped from 12K back down to 6K, and that would be the one where the big bulk of text was, and then there's the one after it where they deleted it and blamed it on the computer. And you can decide whether you're going to let it have it or not. But at least you can dig into that and figure it out. Yes?
Saves every 10 seconds and backs up.
Every 2 minutes. Yeah. And so again, we're collecting a stream of backups after a 3-hour exam. 1 carry to 6. It's 90 files, right? That's a lot of files. Well, how can we do that? Well, we're using plain text, and it's encrypted, but it's plain text. So the file sizes are microscopic, and we can do things like back it up a lot. I don't know what the other software does, but I do know the file sizes tend to be larger, and so that kind of puts a little bit of a limit on what you can pile up. But we don't really have much of a limit there. So these are extremely useful. I don't know if you use them, Teresa, but I don't know if you've used them, but they are they can be very useful, and we have caught some purported up to no goodness. Like people looking over each other's shoulders, and then we could sort of see which one was writing first. Yeah. Oh, and then so the 2 students were requested to bring their laptops in, and one person brought it in and said, oh, whatever you need, and the other person said, oh, I sent it to my brother, so get it back. Well, he's in Argentina. Well, get it back. No, he reformatted the hard drive, right? So, who knows? It's just. Any questions for at this point? Good. Yes.
I noticed you have. Is that a battery indicator?
That's a battery indicator. And look, we go to yellow once it gets past the first level. That's because you really probably don't want to use your battery at all, right? You take an exam, you should plug in. So, and we have that on the Mac as well. More questions? Okay, so I'm going to take an exam. This is Swedish law. Yeah, I'm good at that. Oh wait, you're not supposed to capitalize. They don't like it. Okay, and so it's it's typing space. It's a certain way, and that's what you got. It's really boring, and it's perfect for us. There's if you've got if you've got an exam where they're supposed to have 500 words per answer, you put in a divider and you start typing, and we track it. Okay. So, and on. All this stuff is here. All the stuff you need. I wrote the book. Saving every 10 seconds, auto backup. You can force a backup if you're one of those kind of people. Undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. Bold, italic, underline, left, right, and center, and no other hoo-ha. There's special characters, only a couple. We can show the document stats. We have multiple choice answer sheet. We have separation. Well, there's a tool missing here. What am I missing?
Spell check.
Oh, no spell check at Loyola.
No spell.
And there's other things we can add or take away. Like you saw, we took away the different security modes that they're not using. We disabled the timer for them. So there's a lot of stuff that can be customized, and you just have to go through with us. But at the end of the day, everybody's getting, oh, this is kind of important, same copy of the software. So there's one copy that goes out to all your students. So if your network is down, you got an exam, and you put it on a flash drive and you hand it out, they're good. You don't have to be connected to the network, doesn't need to be a network. If you had to collect them on the flash drives, you can do that too. Easy. Okay, no network required. That's it, really. No additional features or options other than what you see in the menus. That's the help. There's no help. There's no help really needed. It's all there is to it. So I'm going to end an exam. Unless we have any more questions about the interface? Okay, I'm going to end the exam. Are you sure you want to end your exam now? Oh wait, no, I better not. Right? That kind of hand-holding we do in a bunch of other places too, like I'll show you. If I decide I want to accidentally delete a bunch of my exam, are you sure you want to do this? Oh well, no, I better not, okay? So exit, confirm, okay, and then submit. Blinking, anybody blinking? Why is it taking so long?
I don't think you can submit from off campus from
Oh, gee, ruined me.
It's my security.
Yet another. Custom
Isn't-
feature. Yeah.
Since you save every 10 seconds
Yeah.
and back up every 2 minutes, if a student decides to copy, cut, and then it saves right after they cut, because you back up every 2 minutes, you should be able to have what happened 2 minutes before if the computer freezes.
Well, right. I mean, it's a save as, so that file's written and the file's not touched after that. You know, every time it does a save, that's just saving.
I just have a woe is me story saying that happened.
Well, you'll always get some of those, and so there's a procedure for getting back into the exam. If it crashes, you're going to get back in almost every time. The exception would be some kind of corruption or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to his computer, but.
Well, that's it. I mean, things can happen, but we've got a procedure for it either way. Rarely there will be corruption, and you'll have to start a new file. But typically, they'll just get back into where they were, and they just pick it up where they left off, and they're going to be within 10 seconds, average 5 seconds of wherever they were. So they'll be fine. Worst case, they're going to be a minute or so of loss, and even if they cut something in large and we're about to paste it and it crashed, you can then, there's a procedure for that too. Just go get it out of the backup file form.
That's what I'm
and
asking.
help them out, put it together. You get it.
I like that.
Yeah.
In this instance, there was nothing, and they failed.
You on? Okay. Thank you, Paul. All right. Well, that would basically instantaneously go. And if anybody would like to see that, I'll download another software. I'll download another school. It is actually really kind of something to see. Because, I mean, we're here in New Jersey, his server's in New Orleans, and it would have literally been, the blink of an eye, it would be in. It's done. And then the receipt would come back. I didn't show you that either, so maybe I should download something else. But in any event, I'll do that in a second. But this is a good place to take any more questions. Any more questions? How are we on time?
8 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
How do you, it's only a course list, how do you separate by professor.
Oh, well, let's go back to it. Let's go back to it, all right?
Every school's kind of different on how they set up their course lists. Pretty much have flexibility in how you want to do it.
It's just a text list. So, so what we're doing is we're getting those courses from you, and then let me show you what he's got. So he's got this one's pretty pared down. Some of them are a little bit more. We have about 35 characters that we could do. So normally I'd expect to see a dash or something in there before the instructor name. I don't know why they're so trimmed, but you know, Paul's kind of like that. You can see sort of a rough little guy. No, Paul's one of my favorite people in the whole world. And yes, it's very concise. He's a no-nonsense guy, and so he just got right down to it and named it. But we do, you know, like if you've got multiple sections for a course, you've got room to put in a section number, you've got room for fairly long instructor names. And we find that you really do want to shrink these down because it's just much more readable if it's concise. And then this thing at the M10, that's a semester identifier. So if you're saving these into your server and you're not diligent with, if you don't tend to do a lot of archiving and backing, putting things away from last year, this way, this semester's common law won't get mixed up with last semester's common law because the semester was named differently. If you want us to not do that, then we'll just get it up to you.
Anything with weird characters? Like,
Well, it's going in a file name, but apostrophes are okay, but sometimes it's easier to just take them out just because it spreads things out and people know what it is even without the apostrophe. But anything that can go in the Windows file name is okay here. But I tended for years to take out anything that wasn't a dash or an alpha or a numeric. That's all I like to put in there because just keeping things more concise. But that's just my personal. And you can try it out if there's something you want to try, see if it works. But maybe better to just keep it simple. Gee, I've said that a few times. Anything else more? Yes.
We need to talk about the great timing feature. I mean, not the timing feature, but your logs.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Oh, well, right, yeah, that's something you wouldn't see either. And there's printing software. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a whole take-home system that's very elaborate, really great. That is all web-based and really nice. When we're printing, yes? Go? Okay. When you're printing, you also can print out a log that includes fairly extensive timing and security information. There's a lot of stuff that can be, evaluated, and a lot of stuff is reported. So it's there's a lot here, and we've been very sort of incrementally filling in and adding stuff, and you'd be amazed at how much is there. It's great. The take home is true. We can deal with a lot of complexity there. We track when they look at the question, when they submit it. You get a report that says whether they came in on time or not. All there. Yes.
I guess it's a double question. Just in general and with take-homes, do you have a way to facilitate accommodations? So the student has, the average student has 2 hours to take the test, and the student gets 3 hours or 4 hours.
Sure. Yeah.
Does it work with your take-home?
Right. The timing, the setup for the take-home courses will include the option to add time for certain examinees. And then the other thing that comes up with accommodations is, you don't want to see that the additional time was taken when there's not like on a cover sheet. And so on the printing software, again, I wish I had time to show you everything. That would take a couple more of these, I think, to go into every detail. But one of the options is to show or hide the timestamp on the cover sheet. So if you've got a class where there's nobody who's been accommodated, then and you want to show the time, you can. But if you've got a class where anybody is, you can shut it off. That's the other thing you can do is print out the cover sheets for the instructor with times off, and then reprint them for your records with time on. So you can double check it if you want to. So you got a lot of flexibility.
And so if it's a take home, you can still it pays attention to the time as well. I mean, so it's not a situation where it's going to shut down, but it's going to let you know.
No, we won't shut down, but we're tracking. So on the take homes, you're going to be telling for each course, you're going to be setting up what the timing rules are for that course, and then on a per examinee basis, we're going to see if they comply with it, and we're going to give you a report on the website showing that.
So it's basically the registrar that's going to keep track.
Well, it's there for them to look at if they want to. Some schools are religious about it, other ones are, spot check, and others are, just kind of let it go however it's going to go, and all of that works. Okay, yeah. More? Yes, no? Okay. Lounge chair? Lounge chairs?
Yes,
Yeah.
those chairs.
I'm not taking them home. I'm giving them away.
Okay.
Who wants a lounge chair? Okay. Wait. All right, so I have to come up with a randomization. I was debating that. Let's see. What could be random?
Pretty random.
Let's see.
Random.org. Just my random number generator.
Random.org.
Maybe I should.
Random number generator. How many people are in here? No. Yes? Really? What's with that? Talk to Meyer. 2. You. 1, 2, 3. It's you. Oh, and there's another one. Do you want a lounge chair?
Yeah.
Great.
Really?
Oh, you're getting 2 of them. No, that's not going to work. 7. 6.
He should see that.
7.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm going to disappoint you didn't ask any questions.
You answer everybody.
Hmm?
How easy it is.
Are you?
And
You're impressed, all right?
20 seconds.
You're pleased, all right? Okay. Let me double check my count. 1. Do you want a lounge chair?
Sure.
1. Did you try it? You didn't try it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yay.
Okay? Well, there's 11 people, so I generated a random number between 1 and 11.
That's fair.
And then I counted by non-arbitrary means. No, I started from left to right. I counted from away from me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We're just all feeling sad.
It's as
Maybe
random as it
maybe you ought to
it's
throw
as-
out something.
It's as random as it could be. Yeah.
Doc,
I want to make a circus. I got
See?
50.
He said he would have liked that more. I heard him. I'll
Wait.
trade you anytime.
Did you really? I mean, if you don't want it, I'll put it back in the hopper. Seriously. If you don't want the lounge chair, I'll put it back in the hopper and give somebody else. Do you want it? Or does that seem like weird? No, I'll ship it to you. Yeah, just put it back in the box and UPS it to you. I am good. Karen does it.
I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh, walk out.
No, just give me your address. I'll ship it to you. Office, house.
Then he gets your work.
Oh, like,
See that? You just got it as balance.
yeah, there we go.
He's like, yeah.
There we go. Oh, I see how disappointed you are. I'm so sorry.
I left him.
I'm so sorry. But look at what your odds were. They were so good. Look, what happens if I just hit it again? I'd have to get a 1, 2.
Look at that, it's 2
It's
again.
4.
Oh.
I'm not convinced.
Okay, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. What is going
That
on?
doesn't seem very random.
There you go.
Okay, how's it seem now?
It took you like 5 times to get to 4. By the way, you.
Okay, now wait a minute. Why would it keep giving me 2?
It's random.
But didn't you sit at random?
But it's only between 1 and 11.
Didn't you sit at random? You know,
It's not random.
5. Look, it's random
I
now.
said it's you.
It's not random.
Humans and their humans see patterns. 7 came up again. 11.
Still no 5. I got 4 again.
Look again.
4 twice.
Does that seem random?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I should go see for it.
He's supposed to have enough people.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
First section. Hang out.
I'll hang out here. I got one frisbee. Anybody want a frisbee?
I have two dogs, so I have to take one
Fine.
more. Maybe I'll take two, and then
Yeah,
I'll
why
have
don't
one
you
for
take a couple
myself.
more, and then give one to somebody.
Okay.
Well, I don't really need three.
Okay.
You want a frisbee? I'm
Okay.
just trying to help you out with it.
No, that's, yeah.
Frisbee.
Well, I was gonna,
Delivery.
yeah, but maybe when, in the fall when I do the training session.
You know, I could send some over to you.
That'd be nice.
Do you think people would appreciate that?
I don't know.
I don't know either. It's hard to
Yeah,
tell.
it's hard to
It's
tell.
a little weird.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you for coming down. I really like it. Maybe you guys wish ball as a consolation. You have to give me enough.
They just get eaten by my dog and then he gets,
You know, they're not good for dogs.
Exactly, that's the problem.
I leave mine at work, I have a collection of different shapes.
They don't make it that far, as soon as I get home, he hops in my luggage.
That's how you reconstruct the
I was
world.
also gonna say, my car is here.
Oh,
Look, the world is trying to see if
So he's never here when he's here.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Alright, are you staying with the?
Right,
I guess.
yeah.
But the chairs are here, so.
Oh, right.
I still
I don't have it here.
Well, you know.
It's all good, I like this.
I heard this week, Dems to brakes.
But either way you'd like.
Dems to brakes.
Someone's there,
We can ship it.
stay for the colony.
If you want to take it in your car, you can take it.
Seems like that should go.
Myself.
There's something wrong. There's
Okay.
something wrong.
You would not be very well a survivor with that.
There.
It's the bizarro world.
I will be.
Yeah.
Thank
What kind of plant it is?
It's a trash.
Okay, so there's a mathematical solution to that. Explain to me why it doesn't work. So, all right.
Hi. That's weird.
We're gonna play that. I'll just grab it here.
Figure it out.
Okay, so should I contact so
Really?
Not here.
Oh, how about on Saturday? So, because we'd like to get to that first. We need, yeah, take a Friday. Yeah, we'll switch it going, if we could just keep them there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, cool. That'll work
No,
out.
I do, I definitely do want
what's
to
that deal on watching? Okay.
My battery died
Appreciate that.
exactly as I did.
Okay.
Because
Excellent.
that's our big group too.
You know, the summer's perfect for that. So, we'll totally hook you up. Just let us know where you're at. And we should.
No, this is my iPod. Hey, what's up, where you at? You got very
If you would, actually, if you want to, just, Scott will set up a demo room and we'll go through and get work.
Oh, okay.
And then, I'll try to remember to get her to do it.
Well, I'm not sure if I will have a battery by then, that's why I was, but, no.
Well, yeah, it's just for you
But
to stay.
I may call you on
Ping
another
her
phone.
and tell her you, ask her if you, or I can pick her for you.
No, I wrote
But
it down.
but that way she'll have your contact
Right,
info.
I'm writing.
Okay, that would just, it'll kind of step out a little bit.
Huh?
And, she can walk you through the site.
Oh, yeah, and then, no, yeah.
I don't have it memorized anymore like I
Yeah,
used
And then
to.
also,
I wrote it down
status
earlier
worksheets
today.
put together,
That was smart.
I had a fear.
The course list,
Because I'm like dying.
preferences and your dates. and
So
things
you have
like
the
that.
same kind of apps on
Once
here
you,
that.
once you've been walking through those once, just, upload, click a button, and print it.
I'm also, I'll need to involve Jackie, my assistant.
Yeah, for the deputies.
She deals with you.
I don't know why our school.
I gave the exam process to her
Oh, there you go.
a year ago.
I hear nothing but.
Oh, you're gonna look
I
really
didn't hear nothing but
Okay.
problems with it.
Yeah, well, yeah. But you need to,
And I even, I took notes too, I'm telling you, man.
You did it in the weekend.
no, you're fine. Yeah, I could do Monday. Yeah, you can be ready. From our perspective, time is an issue. Okay, the other